Daniel Kirop, Haib Achterkamp, Frederick Matheson in the midfield. Giuseppe Barone working it back to Achterkamp, who's coming off of an NEC Rookie of the Week nomination for his, and then LIU stole one in OT. Rasmus Hansen with the game-winning goal. So again, the Blackbirds, a team last year that had a lot of squeakers that did not go their way, games that they could, a lot of games in goal. Wearing the gray jersey in tonight's contest. Played the most minutes, got a 1.94 goals against average. It's pretty good for a team that is winless. 8 game, and Nordstrom settles it back for Johansson. Chipped up ahead, looking for Hansen in LIU. Philip Nordstrom, the defensive player. Back to Johansson, and now Ravanas able to come back in. Big guy again, 6'2", 170 pounds. Behind in the contest. Terriers were the one that picked up the red. Had to play a man down, but by LIU, you just, of course, feel the confidence of a game like that, but you can kind of come up and down and get back to an even keel before continuing on. A lot of teams, maybe if you played a Friday-Sunday schedule and you had that game on a Sunday, you'd just to kind of stay sound and see how they can respond themselves after a big W. First one since 2015 against the Terriers, who were picked to finish first ahead of LIU. On him, it will certainly force Central's hand in some different offensive phases as well. Here's Baduri working to his right foot. He's got some speed. Sends one in and it tips and rolls off of Eric Johansson. West Hartford, Connecticut. Again, a lot of Connecticut represented on this lineup. Certainly some international flavor in there as well, but a ton of New Englanders. He's a senior, tied for the team lead in shots with Panos Ravanas, guy who had banged his head earlier in the game. Ravanas has 16 shots as well, but no point. Lay it on back for Illan. Now, despite the records, you'd figure this one would lean LIU's way. There's a good game last year between these two teams, up in 1-0. That's a tough game on the road. Before that, tied Hartford, so that was an opportunity on the road at Hartford to win that game at a conference. Lost by 1 to Quinnipiac, lost to St. Peter's 2-1. They've had some close calls. A lot of young players on this team learning for these opportunities. They've got great coaching. They've got a good base built up. There's Wilkins chasing it down, laying it ahead. This O'Brien, the freshman. That's banged away by Achterkamp. Has come in here as a turnover at midfield for LIU. Guscott just hasn't found the back of the net, and he hasn't found an assist. Amazing for such a weapon with a boot like that. What a grab by Illan. Illan's been a wonderful addition. "20 minutes in, 25 to go here in the opening half. Blackbirds looking to extend this win streak. Got 5 of them in a row. And this 5-game win streak began in early September. Here we are in early October, so it has spanned about a month, give or take. Solbakken able to take it away after the one-on-one. Goes LI.
Danny, come inside, Danny! Danny, come inside!
54 years of coaching at their respective locations. Talk about guys that have seen it happen time and time and time again. Sunset set for 6:31. We're at 6:26 right now. Lights are on for this Friday night conference matchup. Here's Achterkamp, who comes from the Netherlands. Big boot ahead, left side. And Hansen can't get to it in time. Barking out their orders. Always interesting to see how they coach each other. Last year was just such a quality game. Naeem Charles. Ravanis sliding it ahead too far. He had Badouri, the freshman, excuse me, the senior forward, cutting. Couldn't get it to him. He is the lifeblood of the offense. He is their Rasmus Hansen, so to speak, their weapon of choice. Number 11 in blue. Looking for Hansen, can't get it to him. This Ambrosino. Stays with the Blackbirds. Close to Sam Illen there in between the pipes. Matheson gets the first whack on it. Gus Scott does his. Changes for LIU. Xavi Verdu, freshman from Costa Rica, wearing number 17, checks in. So does Michael Giannini. And Hansen on the chase. Luck's able to turn it forward towards Richards. Tries to slam it through. Now Achterkamp moving it ahead. He had a goal this last time out. Hansen boots it forward. Doesn't like his so-and-so, and doesn't like it when you play this way, or you try to take this angle, or you try to cut this corner. So that's nice for a player to divergency. Again, the pressure, they have to feel it, being winless here into October. Try to steal one against one of the NEC's Central. Blackbirds have a pair of shots on goal, 4 shots in the game, 1 shot on goal for Central, 2 total shots in the contest. So now Maldonado put the pressure on Achterkamp. And now Johansson, and Central throws it right back into LIU side as a show of good sportsmanship. Minute remaining in the first half. Achterkamp to Barone. Barone keeps his feet. Second half of action coming up here as LIU and Central Connecticut played a scoreless first. Finn whips it ahead, and it's knocked down by Illen inside the box, and he rolls it right out to Hybe Achterkamp. And somehow that just stays in play by Ambrosino. Trying to knock it out to the back line. Into November, and then the NEC tournament, where Blackbirds have had pretty good success, but that success has sometimes been stopped by St. Francis of Brooklyn, who LIU took down last Sunday. Pulled up by the Blue Devils, who turned it upfield. Silverman trying to find the soft spot. Johansson almost had a dangerous play there with behind him. Pretty exciting first 5+ minutes here, the second half. Here's Quentin Lux. And Illen comes in almost. You're trying to fend off Central. Next Friday, Sacred Heart is here. Next Sunday, the Mount is in town. And then 3 games on the road to make the Pennsylvania trip. There's a battle for it. A play on is called. That one is blasted out of play behind us. Here admit for a high foot, I think. Lou Labadia was just in a tough position to see that. Gus Scott's foot came up where one of the Central players had his back to the referee. Just have a tough play, maybe a little obstruction. Comp looking to lean it ahead. Gus Scott and Hansen were cutting. Well, Francesco and company stop it, and the Blackbirds turn it to the far side of the field. 10 minutes into this second half, moving quickly. Both sides with some great chances here, but nobody has scored. So Blackbirds will get Xavi Verdu. Verdu, the freshman from Costa Rica. Right past it. Verdu trying to chase down Ambrosino. And now Richard stop and go, running out of room. Camp back to midfield, chested down by O'Brien. Ambrosio fires it ahead. Camp heads it back to midfield, and Lux pops it through as we go back and forth at midfield. As Blackbirds go side to side. Kiros, tough pass to Achterkamp, able to survive it for the moment. Coming up, they had on Sunday against the Terriers, then the 2-goal performance in a 2-1 win against LaSalle. So this is certainly one of the tighter games that they've played. Physicality in the corner here, but the Blackbirds hive Achterkamp to keep it alive, knocks it out of play. It's a throw in. Bello fires it in. Popped up. Kos Verdu turns it, whacks it up. Anybody's ball towards the top of the 18. A shot knocked down in front by Ravanis, and now back out to midfield for LIU and back in. That one sent all the way down. Barone on it. Giuseppe Barone sneaks in. Unbalanced. Here comes Silverman. Collects the touch pass. Barone now in some free space. Kostecki not happy with Barone being offsides 1, 2, 3, 4 many times. So I'll have the Blackbirds trying to avoid that at all costs, of course. And with that strong back line, that is certainly a strength of this team. 8 minutes left. Stolen away by Silverman. Precinct. Gus Scott goes. And now Sean Green calling for the all-out pressure here. In the final 4.5 minutes or so, they'll change. Blackbirds be on their heels a little bit, you'd think, but have still controlled things defensively. Achterkamp looking to handle it. Blasts us out towards midfield for Hansen. Hansen trying to gain a step.